Hi guys, I'm Dr. Christine Kirnos. I'm the owner and a veterinarian at the Cat Hospital of Media, just here across from the Wawa on Baltimore Pike. So I own the Cat Hospital with my husband, Paul, and I've been practicing veterinary medicine for probably about 20 years. So I'm going to talk to you today about why I love my job and how to become a veterinarian. So, as I said, I'm a veterinarian and I have my veterinarian degree. The CVA after my name just means that I am also a certified veterinary acupuncturist. So, what is a veterinarian? What do we do? We're medical professionals and we are protecting the health and well being of people and animals. You may not think that veterinarians protect the health of people, but by keeping animals healthy, a lot of times we're also keeping people healthy. A lot of diseases that animals get can be spread to people. So it's really important that veterinarians help control the spread of diseases. And we're always on the lookout for diseases so we can report them when we see them so we can keep everybody safe. We also diagnose and treat sick animals, and we do preventative health, so meaning vaccines and keeping cats and dogs or livestock healthy. But we also can provide a wide range of services. So there are veterinarians who teach, veterinarians who are in public health, veterinarians who do research, looking for new and innovative, medications or treatments. We have military veterinarians and veterinarians who are in private industries like pharmaceuticals. In fact, the CEO of Pfizer is a veterinarian, and he helped develop one of the vaccines and brought to market through Pfizer the COVID vaccine. So that's pretty cool. Schooling is important. So middle school, high school, what you really want to do is, really focus on the sciences. You need biology, chemistry, physics. You also need to round out your education, so take other things that interest you, and you need to do well in all subjects, so you really need to have good grades. And, from that, going into college, you'll need to pick a major, and a lot of my classmates were majors in biology or some of the sciences, but we did have a handful of students who were in my veterinary medicine class who were lawyers or were in the humanities, English majors, history majors, who met the requirements or the prerequisites to get to vet school, but also had different majors. So you don't need a specific major, but you definitely need to have a concentration in the sciences. I was a math major and then decided to go to veterinary school. So I had to go back and take some prerequisites like biology and physics and also organic chemistry before I could apply to vet school. So after you have your 4 years of college, then you'll apply to veterinary school, and that's 4 years as well. There are currently, I think, a little over 30 vet schools in the country. And so they're very few and far between. So it is harder to get into veterinary school than other schools. But, it absolutely can be done. You just need to make sure that you're getting some experience. And we'll talk a little bit about that at the end. And also make sure, you do pretty well, with your science classes. Salary for veterinarians, we do make a very good salary. And the data from 2019 says the average yearly salary of veterinarian was about $95,460. But that can range from about $58,000 all the way up to $156,000. Some of the traits that I think are really important for veterinarians, absolutely compassion is important. You need to have strong communication skills. We're often trying to explain some very complex diseases or complex treatment options to our clients, and we need to explain that in a language that everyone can understand. So it's really important to have communication skills. You also need to enjoy learning. I learn every day and I continue to learn. It's part of our requirement for a veterinary license to continue to take education classes after we graduate. And there's always new products, new treatments that we need to stay on top of. So you need to enjoy learning. You need to be able to solve problems in a logical way. Sometimes we need to make some really quick decisions. So you need to be very decisive. Honesty is really important. You need to have some business skills, even if you're not going to own a practice. Most companies that you would work for are a business, and you need to understand where they're coming from. Sometimes we need to come up with creative ways to solve problems. We often don't have the products or things that we need, and we need to be creative in the solutions that we come up with. And you absolutely need to be a good listener. Day in my life. So this is some pictures from my cat hospital here in Media. And when I get in, I'll take a look at my schedule and I'll have either appointments or a surgery day. On my appointments, I'll see anything from wellness cases or sick cats. Some emergencies may call that need to be seen right away, and we'll squeeze them in. On my surgery day, this is when I do anesthesia. We'll do dentistry, so cleaning and polishing teeth, and I'll do surgery, so spays and neuters, things like mass removals, abdominal surgeries, all kinds of surgeries. We kind of do it all. And in the meantime, in between all of that, I'm answering phone calls and emails from clients. And because I'm the owner, I also have some management duties, making sure that we have all of our schedules ready for the next few weeks, paying the bills, checking our inventory, and, preparing for staff meetings, those types of things, need to be done regularly as well. So it can be a really busy day. Pros and cons of my field, I'd say, it's the work is very, very interesting. It's challenging. I love the variety. It's never the same day twice. So when I come to work, I don't know what to expect. I like that. I think that's great. I love working with people and pets in my community. I love getting to know everyone. So that's really great. It can be a very rewarding job, especially when you work really hard on a case and things end up really well. You feel really good. I love my job. I get paid well, and I own my own business. So, I get to set my own schedule, and I have some freedom with that. So that's, really great, that flexibility, especially this year, with COVID, it allowed me to be more flexible, with the changing schedules. Some of the cons, we can work some really long hours. You have to come in early sometimes, stay late. You can't predict, if there's going to be emergencies. So, it can be long, stressful hours sometimes. So we also have to work holidays. Not every practice does this. My practice doesn't, but you may have on call or work for a 24-hour practice, and they're open all the time. One big thing is, we do work really hard and we care about what we do and we give a lot to our patients. So there is something big in our field called compassion fatigue or burnout. And it's just when we're not taking care of ourselves because we're just giving so much. And it's a big thing in the veterinary world, and we're getting better at recognizing it. And I think as a whole, I think your generation and generations that are coming up are really good at taking care of yourselves and taking time out, for your own well-being. So I'm hoping that that's not a big issue, when you guys are graduating from veterinary school. You have to deal with death and euthanasias, which can be very sad and emotionally draining. So that can be difficult, and it is truly part of the job. And one of the big things that is a huge burden for newer grads is the amount of debt that you have to take to go to veterinary school. It's very expensive, and you have to repay that. So, that's something to consider when you're going into the veterinary field. And one con of owning my own business, although I have flexibility and freedom, when people call out or the schedule's not covered, I'm the one that it ultimately falls on. So I have to make sure, that the job gets done. Everything ultimately falls on me. What can you do now? If you're interested in veterinary medicine, I'd encourage you to look for some volunteer opportunities. Providence Animal Shelter or some of the local rescues in the area are always looking for a helping hand, whether it's walking dogs or cleaning cages. collecting supplies, doing supply drives. They always need towels and blankets and food, different donations. So there's a lot you can do from a volunteer standpoint. You can also ask to shadow if there's something that interests you. If it's shelter medicine, you can call Providence, local veterinary hospitals, see if you can come hang out for an hour or two and see what it's like. And of course, when you're old enough, look to get a part-time job, to start out, at a veterinary hospital. You'll probably start cleaning cages and helping clean up the hospital, but you could move up into other duties and get to work with animals. And definitely, to get into vet school, they do require that you have experience in the field. So you would need to have some job or volunteer work to apply to vet school. When I was in college, I worked at a local animal hospital, and then I also volunteered at New Bolton Center in the NICU, so their neonatal intensive care unit with the newborn foals, and I helped take care of those. So that's what I used, for my volunteer hours and work hours, when I got into vet school. Of course, if you have any questions, I encourage you to reach out to me. You can always email me at christine.kirnos@mediacatvet.com. Always happy to help out if you have any interest in veterinary medicine, or, have questions about it, feel free to reach out to me. Anything that you need, happy to help. Love my job. I think it's really one of the best things that, I could have done for myself. Wouldn't want to do anything else, at this point. If you have any questions, reach out. Thanks.